Students, there are different types of motion, namely linear motion, circular motion, rotatory motion, oscillatory motion, random motion, and spiral motion. Let us first know what is linear motion. Students, when an object moves in a straight line, the motion of the object is said to be linear motion. For example, an apple falling down from the tree, a ball rolling along the ground, a bullet fired from a rifle, a car moving on a straight road, a stone falling from a certain height, motion of a striker in a carom board game, and so on. Students, when an object moves in a circular path about a fixed point, the motion of the object is said to be in circular motion. Now, let us look and perform an activity. Students, tie a small piece of a stone to one end of a string. Now, hold the other end of the string in your hand and whirl around. Now, study the motion of the stone. You will observe that the stone moves in a circular path. The motion of the stone here is an example of circular motion. Students, other examples of circular motion are motion of the earth around the sun, motion of a cyclist along a curved path, motion of the moon around the earth, motion of a child in a merry-go-round, and so on. Students, when an object rotates around its own axis, the motion of the object is said to be rotatory motion. Have you ever played with a spinning top? The motion of spinning top about its axis is an example of rotatory motion. Other examples of rotatory motion are motion of the earth about its axis, motion of the potter's wheel, motion of an electric fan, motion of a gramophone record, motion of a merry-go-round. Students, the motion of a merry-go-round is rotatory motion, but a child sitting on it has circular motion. Thus, the motion of an object may contain both the rotatory and circular motion. Students, let us look at an activity. Tie a small round stone to one end of a string and tie the other end of the thread to a hook fixed on the wall. the stone will hang freely. Now let it come to rest. When the hanging stone is perfectly at rest, give a gentle push. What will you see? You'll see that the stone moves equal distance forward and backward again and again. This is an example of oscillatory motion. Students, when an object moves forward and backward again and again, the motion of the object is called oscillatory motion. Some more examples of oscillatory motion are motion of a child on a swing, the motion of a pendulum of a wall clock, and so on. Students, let us look at an activity. Observe the motion of a running bicycle. What do you see? The wheels are rotating about their axes while performing rotatory motion as well as linear motion along the road. This type of motion is called spiral motion. When an object shows both the rotatory and linear motion at the same time, the motion of the object is called spiral motion. Students, some examples of spiral motion are: a driller used by a carpenter has both a rotatory and linear motion at the same time. The rotation of the Earth around the Sun has both rotatory and linear motion at the same time. The motion of a cricket ball thrown by a bowler has spiral motion, and so on. Students, when an object does not show any regular motion, the motion of the object is called random motion. Students, these types of motion have no direction and no sequence of time. Some examples of random motion are movement of a football player on the playground, movement of a butterfly round a flower, movement of housefly or mosquito, movement of dust particles, and so on.